I want to start today with a specific feeling, I think. I think everyone listening has felt it. It's 6:30 a.m. The alarm goes off.
Mm-hmm.
And before your feet even touch the floor, before you've had a sip of coffee or checked a single email, you feel heavy. You feel this dread.
Yeah.
You grab your phone, doom scroll for 10 minutes, snap at your partner because they put the coffee cup on the wrong coaster, and then you sit in traffic feeling the exact same irritation you felt yesterday. And the day before that.
It's the loop. It's the Groundhog Day syndrome.
It is, but it feels heavier than just a routine. It feels like life is a script I didn't write and I'm just reading lines off a teleprompter. I tell myself, okay, today is going to be different. Today I'm going to be patient.
Right.
And by 9:15 a.m., I'm stressed out, my shoulders are up to my ears, and I'm annoyed. Why is it so hard to just choose to be happy?
It's hard because you think you're fighting a mood. You think you're fighting a bad day, but you're actually fighting biology.
Biology.
To put it bluntly.
Yes.
You aren't really living in your life right now. You're just squatting in it.
Squatting, that's a little harsh. I feel like I pay the mortgage on this brain. I definitely pay the price for it.
You pay the mortgage, sure. But look at the state of the place.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine your mind is a physical house. Most of us are living in a house that was built by a ghost, our past self.
A ghost, huh?
You're walking around complaining about the leaky roof, the bad wiring, the fact that the alarm system goes off every time the wind blows.
Yeah.
You feel like a tenant who's stuck with a terrible landlord.
That actually feels incredibly accurate. I'm the tenant complaining to management, but management is also me. I'm ghosting myself.
That's the core of the problem. The aha moment we're chasing today, looking at the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza and some really heavy-hitting neuroscience from Harvard, is that you have to stop being the tenant. You are the architect. An architect. You have the blueprints, you can tear down the walls and rewire the electricity.
Yeah.
But you have to stop living in the ruins of the past to do it.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because be the architect sounds great on a coffee mug, but when I'm actually in that traffic jam, it feels impossible to just renovate. What are we actually dealing with here?
We're dealing with the sheer volume of repetition. Dispenza throws out these numbers that they're staggering. Humans think somewhere between 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts in a single day.
That is a staggering amount of noise.
It is. But here's the kicker. 90% of those thoughts are the exact same thoughts you had yesterday.
90%, so I'm just hitting a replay.
It's worse than replay. You're deepening the groove. Think
Yeah.
about it. If you think the same thoughts, you make the same choices. The same choices lead to the same behaviors,
Which create the same experiences.
which produce the same emotions. And those emotions, they trigger the same thoughts again. It's a closed circuit.
So Dispenza's phrase, personality creates personal reality.
It means that if you want a new life, a new personal reality, you literally have to change your personality. You have to change how you think, act, and feel. Otherwise, you're just rearranging the furniture in a burning house.
Which brings us back to the house metaphor. If I'm thinking the same thing 90% of the time.
Think about the floorboards in your house. If you walk the exact same path from the bedroom to the kitchen every single day for 10 years, what happens to the wood?
You wear a groove into it, a path.
A deep groove. Eventually, you can't step out of that groove even if you want to. You just slide right back in because it's the path of least resistance. That isn't just a metaphor. That is physically what is happening in your brain.
Okay, hang on. This is where I get skeptical. Is this just psychological? Is this just habit? Or are we talking about something physical? Because I've been this anxious, reactive person for 35 years, it feels like that's just my factory setting.
It's not your factory setting. It's your wiring. And yes, it is physical. This is the core concept of neuroplasticity. There's a fundamental rule in neuroscience. Nerve cells that fire together wire together.
Meaning?
Meaning, every time you have a thought, let's say I'm overwhelmed, neurons fire. If you think that every day, those neurons bond. They develop a long-term relationship.
They literally grow connections to each other.
Exactly. We see this in the data. For example, a study from FOCO TCC showed that in people with high anxiety, there's massive connectivity between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex.
Wait, the amygdala is the fear center, right? The alarm bell.
Correct. And the prefrontal cortex is your executive control center, your CEO.
So, if I'm anxious, I've basically hardwired a panic button directly to the CEO's desk.
You've bypassed the security guard entirely, the alarm goes off, and the CEO immediately flips the table. You haven't just memorized the layout of the old house, you have nailed the furniture to the floor.
That sounds permanent. If I've nailed the furniture down for 35 years, how do I rip it up? Do I need the lobotomy?
Thankfully, no. But we do have to talk about the M word,
Oh no, don't say it.
Meditation.
Oh, I knew it. Listen, I get it. Everyone says meditate, but honestly, it feels like a glorified nap. How is sitting still with my eyes closed gonna rip up physical wiring in my brain? It feels too soft for such a hard problem.
I love that you called it a glorified nap because the data says it's actually more like heavy construction work.
Yeah.
We need to look at the Harvard study by Sarah Lazar. This is the gold standard study.
Okay, convince me. Hit me with the science.
They took people who had never meditated before, skeptics, just like you, and put them through an MBSR program, mindfulness-based stress reduction, just 8 weeks.
8 weeks isn't that long.
Not at all, average of 27 minutes a day. They put them in MRI machines before and after, and the results were shocking. They found that the gray matter density in their brains physically changed.
Gray matter is the actual computing stuff, right? The neurons.
Yes. 2 major things happened. First, the hippocampus got bigger. That's the area for learning and memory. But here's the cool part. The amygdala got smaller.
The alarm bell physically shrank.
It lost mass. The wiring began to disconnect. And the participants reported feeling less stressed, which correlated perfectly with the shrinkage.
Huh.
So going back to our house, this isn't just relaxing in the living room. This is a contractor coming in, tearing out the faulty wiring of the alarm system, and adding insulation to the walls.
Just by observing thoughts, that seems wild.
It gets wilder. There's research from the BBC on something called gyrification.
Gyrification sounds like a carnival ride.
It refers to the folds in your brain. You know, our brains look wrinkly?
Yeah.
Long-term meditators actually have more folds in the cortex. Those folds increase surface area, which allows for faster information processing.
So they literally think faster.
And then there's the genetic level.
Yeah.
A study in New Scientist showed that even a single session of deep relaxation can alter gene expression. It boosts mitochondria efficiency and reduces inflammation markers like NF-kappa.
NF-kappa what?
NF-kappa. Think of it as the molecule that screams, "We're under attack," to your cells. It causes inflammation and stress. Meditation turns the volume down on that scream.
So you aren't just calmer, you are literally more energy efficient.
You're changing the blueprint, the electrical wiring, the insulation, and even the energy efficiency of the house.
Yeah.
You are restructuring the organ that creates your reality.
All right. The science is there. I can't argue with MRIs, but I have to be vulnerable for a second here.
Go for it.
I get the science. I want that renovation. But when I actually try to sit down and do the work, it's a disaster. I close my eyes and it's not peaceful construction. It's a riot. I start judging myself. Am I doing this right? My nose itches. I forgot to email my boss. I feel lonely in there. And frankly, I don't trust my own judgment as the architect because I'm the one who built this crappy house in the first place.
That is the most common barrier. We call it the greenhouse of anxiety. You go inside to find peace, but the heat just amplifies the weeds.
Exactly. It's a jungle. And therapy is great, but I can't call my therapist at 6 a.m. on a Tuesday when I'm trying to meditate and failing.
You need a mirror. But introspection is dangerous when you do it alone because you're looking at yourself through the lens of your old personality. You need a reflection that is unbiased.
Well, where do you find that? Humans are biased by nature.
Well, this is where technology is doing something unexpected. We usually think of AI as a productivity tool, right? Writing emails, coding, but there's a movement towards using it for psychological mirroring.
You mean talking to a robot about my feelings? That sounds dystopian.
It sounds counterintuitive, I know, but think about why you feel lonely in your head. It's the judgment. An AI has infinite patience. It has zero ego. It doesn't judge you for having the same negative thought 10 times in a row.
So it's a mirror that doesn't frown back at me.
Precisely. There's a specific methodology called the AI self-coaching system. It teaches you how to use tools like ChatGPT or Claude to externalize those chaotic thoughts. You dump the messy house onto the screen, and the AI reflects it back to you with structure, stripping away the emotion.
So instead of spinning in the loop, I see the loop written down.
Right. It stabilizes the emotion so you can actually do the renovation work. It turns that greenhouse of anxiety into a blueprint. It's like having a neutral third party draft the eviction notice for your old self.
That makes a lot of sense. It's outsourcing the executive function until yours is strong enough to take over.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say we use that tool. We start the work, we're meditating, but then we stop. Why? Why do I instinctively reach for my phone instead of sitting on the cushion?
This is the hardest part of the renovation. Dispenza calls this the void.
The void. That sounds ominous.
It is, because your body is effectively the unconscious mind, and your body is an addict.
An addict? To what?
To the chemicals of your past. If you've been stressed for 10 years, your body is biologically addicted to cortisol and adrenaline. It craves that rush. When you sit down to meditate and you stop that loop, your body goes into withdrawal.
So that jittery, I need to get up right now feeling, that skin crawling sensation.
That is your body throwing a tantrum. It's saying, hey, where's my hit of anxiety? Where's my hit of guilt? I need my fix. It'll scream anything to get you to return to the familiar state.
Even if the familiar state is misery.
The body prefers familiar misery over the unknown. To your biological survival mechanism, the unknown is dangerous. The known, even if it hurts, is safe.
That's terrifying. It explains why people stay in bad jobs or bad relationships.
It explains everything. Going back to the house metaphor, you've demolished the old walls, you've ripped up the floorboards, but the new house isn't built yet. You are standing in the middle of a construction site.
Right.
There's no roof, it's raining, it's cold, and you look over at the pile of rubble that was your old self.
And I think, maybe I should just crawl back into the rubble. At least I know where the leak is.
Exactly. And that's when we grab the phone. That's when we snap at our partner. It's the crawl back to the ruins because the void feels too unsafe.
So how do we endure the construction site? How do we stand in the cold rain long enough to build the new roof?
You have to trick the brain. You have to make the brain believe the new house is already built, even when you can't see it yet. This is the concept of mental rehearsal.
Is this just visualizing success, like seeing myself on a yacht and hoping the universe delivers it?
No, and I'm glad you asked that. It's much more technical than daydreaming. It's about installing hardware. Neuroscience shows that the brain does not know the difference between a real experience and one that is vividly imagined.
I've heard that before, but I struggle to believe it. Is it really the same to the brain?
Consider the piano study. If I hook you up to a scanner and ask you to play scales on a piano, a specific part of your motor cortex lights up. If I then ask you to sit on your hands and vividly imagine playing those scales,
The exact same area of the brain lights up.
the exact same areas.
Right.
So apply this to your personality. If you wake up and you rehearse emotionally and visually being a patient, grateful, happy person,
Yeah.
you have to feel it.
That's the catch, right? I can't just think I'm happy. I have to feel the gratitude.
You have to feel the texture of the steering wheel in your hands while you're sitting in traffic and rehearse the feeling of calm instead of anger. You have to feel the emotion before the event actually happens.
You're preloading the software update.
You're installing the hardware, and if you keep doing it, the hardware becomes software, becomes an automatic habit. And the effects of this on aging are wild.
Aging? How does this help my wrinkles?
Well, maybe not wrinkles, but your brain age.
Yeah.
Myself and Harvard researchers found that 50-year-old meditators had the gray matter volume in their prefrontal cortex of 25-year-olds.
Wait, their brains were structurally 25 years younger.
Yes. And new scientists highlighted research on telomeres. Telomeres are the little protective caps on your chromosomes, like the plastic tips on shoelaces. As we age and stress, they fray. Meditation maintains those caps.
So you're slowing down cellular aging.
Exactly. So you don't wait for the house to be built to feel safe. You visualize the finished home so clearly. The smell of the paint, the warmth of the fire, that your body chemically believes you are already living in it.
That is the secret. You become the architect who trusts the blueprint more than the current weather.
There you go.
I love that. I'm sold on the concept. I want to be the architect, but I have one last objection. And it's a practical one.
Hit me.
I feel like I have these high-level thoughts now. I'm doing the internal work. But the world moves so fast, I feel like I have this new capacity for processing, this renovated brain, but I can't execute quickly enough. I have a Ferrari engine in my head, but I'm stuck pushing the car down the street.
That is the execution gap. And it's very common for people who start doing this deep work. You develop what we call divergent thinking. You see connections everywhere, but you struggle to output them because the manual labor of typing and organizing is just too slow.
Yes. It's frustrating. I have the vision, but laying the bricks takes forever.
Well, we mentioned AI earlier as a mirror, but we are also in the era of infinite leverage. AI is the biggest library and the biggest construction crew in the history of the world. It is ready to build your vision.
But most people just use it to write funny limericks.
Because they don't speak the language.
Yeah.
The system is deaf if you don't know how to prompt it. This brings us to the second tool for the modern architect, the high-res AI communication manual.
Is this just a prompt guide?
Think of it as a driver's license for that Ferrari you mentioned. It bridges the gap between that deep internal processing you're developing and the external output. It teaches you how to translate your architect vision into instructions the construction crew, the AI, can understand.
So I don't have to lay every brick myself.
You shouldn't. Your job is to design the house. Let the machine lay the bricks. This manual helps you scale your output without burning out your social battery or your decision-making energy.
That feels like the missing piece. Because it's not enough to just be zen on the inside if your outside world is falling apart because you can't keep up. Inner peace needs outer efficacy.
Well said. You need the internal renovation and the external tools.
So looking back at where we started, we began this morning as tenants, dreading the alarm clock, complaining about the leaky roof of our own minds.
Living in a house built by the past.
And we've learned that we can pick up the sledgehammer, we can use the neuro rule fire together, wire together, we can physically shrink the alarm system in our amygdala.
We can endure the discomfort of the construction site, the void, by realizing it's just the body going through withdrawal, not a sign that we're failing.
And we can use mental rehearsal to move into the new house before the paint is even dry.
That's the journey, from victim to creator.
It changes the way I look at tomorrow morning. When that alarm goes off at 6:30, I'm not waking up in a trap. I'm walking onto a job site.
And you're the boss. I want to leave you with one thought from Joe Dispenza that sums this up perfectly. He says, "If you are not defined by a vision of the future, you are left with the memories of the past."
That hits hard. We're either moving forward or we're looping back.
The unknown, that scary construction site, it's not a place of danger. It's the only place where creation happens. It's where the new house is.
So to everyone listening, good luck with the renovation. Don't let the ghost tell you how to decorate. We'll see you in the next deep dive.
See you there.